Everybody, and welcome to Tony the Mole Adams YouTube channel for another week. I'm coming to you from downtown Nashville, Tennessee. I'm on the pool deck of my hotel, and Tony's in Sydney. I'm on the way to Sydney. How are you, Tony?
Yeah, doing well, Steve. And I've got to say, I'm very impressed by the Nashville skyline. Looks very nice. Country music capital of the world, isn't it?
It is. It is. The sun's about to come up. Well, it's already come up as you can see. But I got in at 7 a.m. 7 p.m. See, I'm jet lagged as hell. I got in at 7 p.m. I was asleep by 10, and I was wide awake at 3 a.m. So I don't know where I am or what I'm doing. I don't even know the sun's come up. But don't forget, everybody, thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for supporting last week's video. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And Tony, the first item in your column this week, we're moving on to Tony's column at 9MSN. No, it's just 9.com.au. The first item in your column is about Lachlan Galvin and West Tigers.
Yeah, that's right. And
but you had another West Tigers item earlier in the week that, because of my traveling, we didn't have a chance to do a video on. So let's talk about that other West Tigers item from earlier in the week involving one John Hopoate.
Yes, well, we have to be a bit careful here because John Hopoate, I think, has put a contract out on me. He said some rather scathing words on social media in relation to my story, which was that they had a West Tigers 25-year dinner last Friday night, and it was a big night. Your great mate Shane Richardson was hosting it. 24 hours earlier, they'd beaten Manly, so everyone was on a high. But Hoppa, who played a couple of years in the early days for the Tigers, was there. And in walked David Trodden from the New South Wales Rugby League. Now, the New South Wales Rugby League has banned Hoppa from playing. He still wants to play with his son in like D grade or something, but because of his rather long rap sheet, he's been barred. When Hoppa saw poor old David Trodden from the New South Wales Rugby League, he saw red, he approached him, he verbally abused him. He had to be restrained, I heard, and David Trodden was so shaken by it that he left the function. And as a consequence, Mr. Richardson, in his wisdom, has banned Hoppa for life from any West Tigers functions and anything to do with the club in future. So I think that was a pretty smart move. And the story created a bit of a stir.
Yeah, and John made a comment that was like, "I hope I run into you," which is more than vaguely threatening, I think. So it's very ugly, very ugly situation, and pretty.
Yes, and we
horrible.
both live in the same part of Sydney, so I am on the northern beaches, so I am locking my doors, and my savage cavoodle has been told to take no prisoners if there's any drama.
Okay, let's move on to speaking of locks, Lachlan Galvin. He cannot win the Rookie of the Year because of his suspension. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of people don't know this. I've got to admit, I didn't know it a few weeks ago. There's a rule in the fine print of the Dally M's that if you're suspended for 2 games, which these days you can get for a slap in the face, as we know, you're ineligible for, I don't know if it's all the awards, but it's certainly most of them. And very early in his career, I think it was only his second game, poor Lachlan Galvin did a hip drop tackle on a guy and took the early plea, which was 2 games. Now, you and I have seen a fair few hip drops. They've come into vogue the last couple of years. I reckon about 90% that I've seen are just complete accidents. A guy's bursting through, a guy tries to tackle him from behind, he mistimes the tackle, it all goes wrong, and the poor bloke with the ball goes down in a screaming heap. And I think that's the case here. I think you can call Lachlan Galvin a lot of things, but a dirty player isn't one of them. But he took the suspension, and the guy who should romp in to take this award, Dally M Rookie of the Year, is ineligible. And again, Shane Richardson's had something to say about it. He's not jumping up and down. He wanted to make that clear, but he certainly said that it's a bit of an anomaly and it's something that the NRL should look at. So hopefully they'll look at it over the off season and maybe change it, I don't know, to 4 games. So you've got to be suspended twice before being ruled out of contention for such a prestigious award.
We always name a player here that maybe the viewers and listeners haven't heard of before. This week it's Cooper Jenkins. Who is Cooper Jenkins?
Yeah, that's right. He plays in the Q Cup for North Devils, I believe. And he's a wide running back rower, 23 years old. And there's plenty of interest from Sydney clubs in him. So just watch this space. I think before the next couple of months, he'll have signed to play in Sydney in 2025. And word is pretty good player.
Now, the next item rang a bell for me because I was on that tour of Papua New Guinea where this incident occurred when the Australian team was up there in the early 2000s, and we all heard the story that there was a shoplifter or outside a shop, and when the woman tried to hang on to a shopping, the machete came out and her arm was hacked off. And you raised this story in your item in your column. To what end, Tony? What was the context there?
Well, I was speaking to a player who was on that tour who preferred not to be named, but he told me the story, and I've got to say I hadn't heard it, and quite naturally I was shocked. But basically, he said we flew into Port Moresby. The bus took us straight to the hotel, and we were told we weren't allowed out the front door. And when they were told about the machete incident, my source said we didn't have to think twice. And the reason he's brought this up is he's wondering just how NRL players are going to fare playing for the Papua New Guinea franchise that's about to join the NRL. He speculated it wouldn't be a lot of fun, and he might have hit the nail on the head there.
The sun just reflecting off the building opposite me now. You can see. So we'll finish this up. But a second bonus player that you've never heard of, Lachlan Hubner. Who's Lachlan Hubner?
Well, the interesting thing about Lachlan Hubner is that he's played a few games for the Dolphins in the NRL this season, and Wayne Bennett has decided to take him with him to South Sydney. So we all know how good Wayne is at spotting young talent. So look out for Lachlan Hubner next year. He's a 24-year-old middle forward, Queenslander naturally, and he's got all the traits of a Bennett player. Very solid citizen off the field, works hard on it, and he's got a great motor. So South need a little more punch in their pack next season, and Lachlan Hubner might just supply that. You never know.
Okay, well, everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to read Tony's columns, or repeat that. It's 9.com.au, and we will do more content, even though I'm traveling a little bit at the moment. It's going to be a really warm day here in Nashville. Next week, I'm in West Hollywood, so maybe we'll go up to the Hollywood sign and do next week, Tony. But enjoy your weekend.
Will do.